All right, we're going to check out this video from the Whatever podcast, and hopefully it's more interesting than the last video I watched about Kamala Harris.
Like, the woman's unemployed altogether. Like, is that bad too?
No, men don't give a
All right. Fair enough.
They don't usually care if women are unemployed. It's not a big deal to them usually.
I really don't know if that's how all men feel.
I'm not going to put anything in a monolith and say all. But
well, when you sit here and say men don't give a
well, so when I say men, I am speaking in generality, but I'm not saying all. I would never say all to anything. I've never put anything in a monolith and say this always applies to everybody everywhere, because there's no possible way to do that.
So we're saying,
but human beings do speak in heuristics, and so when I say things like "hand me all of that stuff over there," right? I'm not saying to hand me everything in the world, right? I'm just saying hand me all of whatever it is that you think it is that I want.
Yeah,
over
but
there.
all of these cups versus all the men in the world is a very different.
Yeah, but all of which cups?
Saying
right?
Like no, but like all of these cups or hand me all of that is different than all of the men.
I'm just explaining.
Yeah, but like you don't want to be pedantic about it, but you're
the explanation of the heuristic. So I'm just saying the explanation of my heuristic when I say all. Right, and I didn't even say all, but when I say men, I'm not saying every man. I'm just saying men in general. So you would probably find this trait more common in men than not in men. Here. Let me give you an example. Okay, men have balls. Now, that's not all men. There are some.
I can't confirm that.
Some men who have no balls. You and I would agree that that is true. But when I say men have balls, is there any confusion about what I'm talking about?
I can hold on. I can give a much.
Well, I would like an answer to the question, though. Is anybody really confused about what I'm talking about when I say men have balls?
Sure, but I feel like you're breaking down way what we were talking about a long time ago to men have balls.
Yeah,
you don't speak for all men because men have balls.
Do I speak for all men when I say men have balls?
You said men don't give a shit. How does that equate to men have balls?
I'm saying in general, if you look
I
at
feel
what
like you're
men,
creating like a fallacy here.
What men report as being preferential. What's the fallacy?
Ooh, I have all my fallacies written down. We can look it up.
Tell me which fallacy.
Let's see.
She has all of the fallacies or judgment or they're like judgment errors written down. That's really interesting. Oh wow, yeah. So she must have just learned them. And is trying to use that against him. So, a fallacy used in an argument where you are essentially making an error in your argument, or you're biased in some way. I mean, it happens to everyone. Everyone's biased in some way. But what he's getting at here is men hang around men. We're used to men. We think like men. Or the male, and we can kind of tell what most guys are thinking. Trial and error, from talking to probably thousands of other men, we fucking get it. The same way women get it. Women have these secret codes. They can look at each other and give a nod and know that they need help checking whatever, or, naturally, without talking to each other, their periods seem to sync up, which is weird. So, just naturally, guys kind of get other guys. We know what's on other guys' minds. We can tell. I can tell when a guy's flirting with a female just by, his tone and actions. But she's okay. Let's see how she picks this apart. I'm really interested. Oh, it's a split colored jacket, maybe representing split personality.
Ooh, maybe it's slippery slope. So if
that wouldn't be the slippery slope fallacy. You do.
Oh wow, this is going to be really interesting.
The slippery slope fallacy is.
Is the internet signal any better now?
Why did we get internet from?
Is bad because that's not the slippery slope.
Yeah, I don't know if it's quite straw man yet. I know you like that one a lot, though. I don't think it's
definitely
there yet.
Not a straw man.
No, not yet. We might get there, though.
Yeah.
I'll let you know when you
do.
do.
If you feel like I'm straw manning you, you just ask me to steel man your position. And then that way you know for
Sounds
sure
good.
that I'm not straw manning.
Okay.
But, so anyway, I'm clarifying the use of my language. So when I say all, I'm just speaking in generality. I'm not actually putting everything in a monolith.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm not saying every single man on planet Earth this applies to.
So for me, so I understand better, how many men are you speaking for?
Well, so general, just over 51% would be general, right?
Okay, and how did you get those numbers?
So I would look at this from the operation reports, what men report as preferences and don't
Where do
report
you
as
get those
preferences.
reports?
Well, you get them from a variety of places. Sometimes
Who's we?
you got to let me answer the question before you shotgun the next one.
Sure.
Look in your list of fallacies and read what Gish Gallop means.
I don't have Gish Gallop.
Oh, well, that's what you're doing.
Yeah,
When you
that-
shotgun so many questions
Okay.
that I can't actually answer them, you're Gish Galloping.
Okay.
You should write that fallacy down.
Sure, I will.
Take my course, by the way, on
I
fallacies.
would never take your course.
Take it on fallacies.
I would never take your course.
So anyway, you get these things from a variety of places.
I wonder why she wouldn't take a course from this guy. I take courses from people I don't agree with all the time, and it's actually showing bias and I might have gotten a bias and fallacies a little mixed up there earlier, but I think she's being a little bit biased, maybe making some judgment errors, and not wanting to take a course by this guy who's he seems to know a good bit. You know, he's not always right, probably, but pretty smart guy.
One place that we get a lot of these things from is Pew Research. Pew Research dives.
Wow, that's straight up sexist. Yep, I just noticed that. Oh, she's a fan of pink Pokemon.
In, especially to dating quite a bit. And we can pull these things up. So what you would be looking for data like this, men don't give a shit about if women are working or not. You can look at the financial status of preferences that men are reporting in the financial brackets of what they prefer to date, and it turns out they don't really have a ton of preferences there, but women do. So we can kind of ascertain here in a general sense that men don't really care that much
I feel like
about
that's
women's financial.
kind of like a hasty generalization, no?
No, it's not a hasty generalization. No. Nope.
No? Okay.
That's a literal explanation for why it is I'm saying what I'm saying. It'd be the opposite of a hasty
But like
generalization.
A plus B doesn't equal C. Not to me, I don't think. Like that.
Well, no, this isn't well, first of all, this isn't
A plus B can actually equal C in algebra. Just wanted to clarify that.
an A plus B equals C.
You're saying like the.
This I'm just telling you, all I'm doing is regurgitating data at you. That's it.
From Pew Research? Mm-hmm. Okay.
So you
cool.
find it from Pew Research, right?
Cool.
This particular set of data, you can find it in other places too, but it's not very controversial
Right.
that men don't really date based around financial status of women, but that women do date based around financial status of men.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Great. I'm just glad. Like I didn't know men give. Like I just wanted to make sure that.
Yeah, but
Well,
generally they don't care that much, no.
So I think we even granted that we're speaking in generalities here.
Sure.
I even think I said immediately after I made my statement, I'm pretty sure I said, in general, men don't really, when it comes to what they find attractive, don't really care when it comes to women's status or their finances or their money. But you were asking, well, like, how do we come to this conclusion? I mean, so for example, do you think it would be wrong to say women generally prefer tall men?
I don't know that. We love a short king. That's like a whole thing on Instagram. Like,
Yes.
Women
Well, hold
generally
on.
don't want to be hit
Hold
by a
on,
man.
hold on.
I
That's
mean,
a
sure,
general
that's a thing,
question.
but that's abuse.
think anyone wants to be hit.
That's a
Yeah,
general
people don't
idea.
want to be hit. That's an.
But that's the same general. It's the same general.
Okay, hold on,
concept.
hold on.
It's really not that deep.
Do you think that most people don't?
Jivanik donated $200.
Well, no, it's like
Stop.
I became an attorney so my wife wouldn't have to worry about money. IDGF what she makes because I make enough. Men don't care. Priority is she's attractive, Christly, and wifely and motherly.
So you can, if you're looking at this, and I can see that you want to look at it logically, which is good. So if you're looking at it logically, let's do a quick logic lesson. If I say most people don't want to get hit by a car and die, do you know that?
Sure.
How do you know that?
I mean, I would.
So yeah, this is what he was getting at when he meant like heuristics. I'm not sure what heuristics means. It's like related to it's like speaking in generality. You have a general understanding of something based on like personal experience or something like that. Okay, wait, I gotta look it up. Heuristic, because it's gonna kill me. Okay, enabling someone to discover or learn something. Oh, yep, there it is. Hands-on heuristic proceedings, trial and error. Yep, loosely defined. Yeah, it's like personal experience, but it's more than likely like true. Yeah, let's check this out.
Because you're using intuition?
Yeah. I mean, I would.
Because you're
think-
using intuition?
Yeah.
You're using intuition. So can I use intuition to say most women probably like taller men?
I just don't think that's similar.
Well, if everything I see is women with men taller than them, why couldn't I intuit?
I don't see that though.
You don't?
I don't think you're looking in the right place.
Are men on average taller than women? Because if they are, then on average you should see taller men with shorter women, right?
I really don't need to belabor this point. Like, I understand
really
where
do
you're
need
coming
to
from.
belabor
Okay,
this
if you
point.
want to keep
Yeah.
belaboring it,
I
no.
really need to
I
belabor
don't.
it.
I've swiped through plenty of men who lie about their height. They're 5'9", they're not
Sure.
whatever. Like, I don't think that.
But most of the time when you see a man with a woman, he's taller than the woman, right?
I mean, I don't know most of the time.
You don't know if they're taller than the woman? What does tall mean to you? Does that mean shorter than the woman, same height as the woman, or does that mean is above the woman?
I don't walk down the street and count he's taller, he's shorter, he's taller, he's shorter.
No, but
It's
you
not
do
about
walk through an
you.
airport.
Okay, hey, that's fair.
I do walk through it
all the time.
but then
You
sometimes
see-
I wear heels,
Okay,
and
hang on.
sometimes I
That's
don't.
fair.
It's not
Are
you,
men
though.
on average stronger than women?
Sure. Okay.
How do you know?
Okay.
Well, how do you know?
So that's scientific.
How do you know?
Biology.
I don't know. How do I know, Andrew?
I'm asking you, how do you know? How do you know it's scientific? Can you quote me the paper? Where are you getting that stat from?
I didn't give a stat to you.
You just said. So if you can't tell me scientifically how you know that men are generally stronger than women,
Mm-hmm.
how do you know that? Is it because you just kind
Now
of
I
notice
feel like
as you
you're
look around
strawmanning
that
me.
men pick up heavier shit than women do?
Now I
kind
feel
of
like you're
something
straw manning me.
What's
How
the
is
straw
that-
man?
Now
How
I
is that
feel
a-
like you're
how is that a
breaking
straw
down
man?
Tell you what.
down my argument to something
that's not
that
a
was
straw
from
man.
before. I mean, that's exactly what it is. That's what I wrote
A straw
down.
man would be if I'm arguing against a position you don't hold. I asked you,
Yeah.
do you think that men on average are stronger than women?
Okay, hold on one moment.
Okay.
Okay, so this is from Purdue.edu. Strawman oversimplifies opponent's viewpoint and then attacks that hollow argument.
Yeah, so a hollow argument would be a position you don't hold.
Well, a hollow argument would be like nobody wants to get hit by a car. Obviously, nobody wants to get hit by a car.
Wait,
That's
wait, how's
hollow
that obvious?
versus because nobody. Okay, I don't like. I mean,
So it's okay for me to intuit things based on observation, and it's okay for you to intuit things based on observation.
I
But
haven't
somehow,
well-
when I make a generalization about these things, I intuit based on observation. That's bad, but when you do it, it's okay.
well, I think you are generalizing for a sex, and it's something that is like. I'm trying to think how I want to say this because I don't think, I mean, even if I want to backtrack that to say that you're right and it's wrong to make generalizations about anybody, I can make generalizations that I don't know that nobody wants to
Yeah,
get
but
hit by a car.
if you say that it's wrong to make generalizations about anybody, aren't you making a generalization?
Then how would I would say that it's wrong to make generalizations as a blanket statement.
That would be a generalization.
No, it's not.
How is it not a generalization?
Because it's wrong
Yeah.
to make generalizations.
Uh-huh. But that's not general. That's not a general statement.
No.
So would it be wrong for most people to make general statements?
No, it would be wrong to make a generalization.
For
so
anybody?
for you to say most people to make a generalization, that would be a generalization. For me to say it's
Oh.
wrong to make a generalization, that is just a generalization.
Radio, and he says, suspect, white, tall, heading southbound. He's wrong.
I said it's wrong to make a generalization.
That's a generalization. That's a generalization. He's white and he's tall.
That's a description.
It's a general description. It's a generalization.
A general description
These are
is not a
heuristics. White is a
generalization.
heuristic. Tall is a heuristic.
Do you want to get out Webster's dictionary?
Yeah, get it
Because
out.
bring it up.
Get it out.
Bring it up. Is this how you want to spend the whole podcast? Because I will sit here and
If
do
you
it.
want to do pedantry, I'll do pedantry.
I don't want to.
Well, then if you don't want to, then just say, if you want to make general statements that everybody can intuitively see are true, like that, well, men are taller than women, men are generally stronger than women, because we can intuit those things as being true generally,
I can
then we
take
don't have
that,
an
but
argument.
I won't sit here and accept men don't give a shit about a woman's career.
Okay. Would you accept that? Most don't.
I just don't think that.
Most being over 51% of
No, I
men.
wouldn't accept that.
Okay. So you think that over 51% of men are selecting women based on how much money they earn?
No,
What do you think they're selecting them on?
I wouldn't know. I'm not a man.
So then how could you offer refutation to anything I said if you just don't know?
Because I don't think that you know.
But even if I give you the stats,
If you gave me the stats, I would believe you.
that's it though.
Yeah.
Okay, so then Brian, can you pull up the stats on whether or not men are looking for
I would
women's
absolutely
income?
shake your hand and say I was wrong if you gave me the stats.
Yeah, you can pull
That's
them
all
up.
I
They're
would
pulling
need.
them up right now.
Sure.
Men definitely do not select women based on their finances, but the other way around is true.
Okay.
Is Nick pulling those up? Yep.
Does
We
age
could have
play
done
a
this 10 minutes
factor?
ago. That's all I needed.
I mean, if this kind of. So the thing that's interesting is, I wouldn't think that this would be the thing you'd want to challenge, because this is beyond
No,
obvious.
it wasn't. That's why I didn't mean to keep going on
Beyond
this.
obvious, but
Yeah,
it's fine. We'll
sure.
pull them up. We'll pull them
That's
up.
why there's like actual sugar baby sites, like a lot of apps just for women to find men
There's
who make a lot
sugar.
of money.
There's sugar men.
I feel like there's
too.
more ones for.
What about
like,
gay
women,
men?
though.
Is that how are we factoring that in?
I didn't.
For what?
factor it in.
We're talking about men and women, not men and men.
We were talking
Yeah.
about sugar babies.
Even
okay.
if we were factoring in gay men, there's
Well,
still
It's not the
much-
same. I see what that. I see
there's
how
still
that's different.
A very small
Because we're
percentage
looking,
of the
but we're
population.
looking for women who are, concerned with somebody's finances.
Yeah, we're just seeing
Yeah.
if men generally are selecting based on finances or the fact that they want to have sex with the chick. I say that it's because they select for beauty,
Sure.
not money.
Okay.
That would be their primary reason.
So are we saying for sex or for relationships?
No, they're selecting physical characteristics, not external than physical characteristics. Meaning if you're a really hot chick who makes
Way in debt. $20,000.
Okay, so she had a really hard time following along with that. Everybody check out the Whatever podcast. Pretty amazing podcast. These guys, they're a great duo. Yep.